Yeah, that's good.
Are you a man of science?
No.
Sorry, before I'm Dale, by the way. Ollie, how you doing? You're not a man of science.
Nah, I do study economics.
Study economics. Have you ever had an interest in science?
Not particularly. I'm not a sciencey guy.
See, if I simplified science to say that science for me is basically just about practicality. So when we make a claim about the world, we demonstrate it by way of practical reference. You know, like I can show you how, you know, the cogs on the bike work. I could make a claim to you and I could show it to you.
Yeah.
Would you say that was science?
Yeah, that's what I science, yeah.
Would you say that making a claim that you can only back by words is more religious? So if I says to you the world's got some aspect of it and I can only, you know, back that up by saying stuff, would you think that was more religious? And what one of those two would you tend to go with?
Probably the religious one.
The religious one?
Not religious though.
But you're not religious. Well, this is what I'm trying to point out to people, because I think, you know, some people have religious aspects to them, not just about belief in God. You know, religion is also about worldviews.
Yeah.
So if I ask you your worldview, the Earth, what shape's the Earth?
It's round.
Why do you say it's round? And do you mean round like a ball? Round.
Like a ball. Because that's everything I've read. That's what people have shown. So
People have shown images on your TV screen. Have you experienced anything in your life that would show you that there was curvature to the Earth?
No.
Nothing?
No.
So you accept that you just follow a trend of belief?
Yeah.
And you're quite comfortable with that?
Yeah, but well, I just don't really care, to be honest.
You don't really care?
Yeah.
What do you care about? Women?
No, that's like, it's not something I don't care about, it's not something I'm interested in. So I'm not like, I don't have a big, you know, some of my mates go about speaking about that kind of thing, but I just don't have a joke about it.
Nah. What do you don't think it would be important? What if the Earth was something different from what you thought it was?
Be taken aback.
Taken aback? And would you see the significance or the importance of?
Oh yeah, I'd see the significance if suddenly everything was proven wrong, but until that happens,
well, that's what people like me are trying to, you know, make happen. Because I deny that the Earth's a sphere. I deny it.
Sounds it.
Well, there's no scientific proof that the Earth's a sphere. None.
I couldn't prove you wrong.
If I offered you something simple, you see that puddle there? Now, when you go for a bath, how would you describe the surface of the water? If you go to the swimming pool, how would you describe the surface? If you go to the lake, how would you describe the surface? If you go to the ocean, how would you describe the surface? At what point then is it curving?
Yeah, that's true. I couldn't tell you what. I don't know. I see where you're coming from, though, to be fair.
But people will tell you it can curve, but only by words. That's why I was saying, you know, you can make a claim, back it up with words. You know, and I can make a claim where I can show it. You know, I can take that stuff and I can show you until I'm blue in the face that that's how it behaves. But the globe Earth will keep asserting that at some unspecified scale, the physics starts to change and it can behave contrary to what we observe. It's difficult for me to kind of get right into this conversation because obviously I can see that you're probably thinking about women, sport or something.
I just don't have a clue what I'm talking about when it comes to that kind of stuff.
That's quite honest though, but at least I like that attitude because I'm sick of people who their ego kicks in and they just want to be right for the sake of being right.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, it's great that you're just honest about who you are and you know yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great attribute to have, you know.
Kind of thing.
Aye, no worries, mate. So say if you ever think about it, have a look at it properly, don't listen to what anybody tells you, base it on what you can test for yourself, you know.
I'll do that.
Aye, pleasure speaking to you, man.
Thank you very much. Good luck with that.
Sam Andel, nice to meet you, sir. Are you a student here?
Yeah.
What do you study?
I do mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. Are you a scientific, practical type of guy?
Yeah, a bit of science, a bit of practical, like it's a mix of both really.
Would you not define science as being practical anyway? In my understanding, science is about stuff, real world substances and how they behave. Would you agree to that?
Yeah.
Rather than faith-based, hearsays and
Can we move a little bit?
Noise. So you would agree with that then? Because there seems to be a misunderstanding with people of what real science actually is. So I'm kind of trying to cut through that before I ask you, the main point, to get a wee agreement with you, if that's all right. That science really is, for me, objective inquiry of the objective world, how things actually behave.
Yeah.
And there's a huge difference between interpretation. So interpretation is language based, you know, like we can look up at the stars, the sun, the moon, and we can interpret that to fit a particular model which is based on language, it's not based on practicality. You would agree with that?
Yeah.
You heard of flat earthers?
I have, yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I don't know, they obviously believe, some of them believe that quite strongly, and sometimes when you think about that, you're like, I wonder why they think that. But,
do you think it's based on, you know, reasoned processes, or do you think that they're all just influenced by, you know, media, YouTube?
I think it's partly like probably being, you know, like feeling like they're sort of everyone else is part of another group and they don't want to be part of that group, and so that's part of
Being
that.
a contrarian, do you think people just like to be contrarian?
I think part of it may be that, and also
I would agree that there is an element to that. However, I would say that it doesn't apply to somebody like me.
Right.
Now, it's a loaded term, flat earther.
Right.
So if I was to say to you, I'm a globe denier,
right.
how would you perceive me then?
It seems a bit more negative than a flat earther, but a flat earther has more like connotations of, they have different connotations basically.
Yeah, because there's a huge difference to me, because, you know, there's people who claim they're flat earthers, so they negate the globe earth, but then they jump straight into believing some other model of reality, like, you know, a dome, ice walls, pizza dishes in space, these types of things. Whereas for me, it's, unless we have a proper investigation, if I can falsify something or I can show you something that's not true, I don't have to have something to replace that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You can just observe that something's patently false without having to have a replacement.
Yeah.
Right, well that's where I'm coming from. So,
okay. And so you deny that the Earth is the globe.
I deny that it's a fact.
You deny that it's a fact.
I see you snuck that wee fact in there, but no, I deny that it is a globe.
Yeah.
Based on my own investigation,
Right.
based on the kind of first principle that I asked you there about, you know, basing things in practical reference.
Right.
So if I was to ask you, based on that, just man to man, without appealing to consensus, authority, or, you know, something you've seen on the TV, how would you display to me that the Earth was a sphere?
I wouldn't really be able to.
Why?
Because it's difficult to do, but something that I think that makes it quite obvious is when you're in a high place, you can't see the horizon because it goes past the point because it curves around.
Well, on the globular Earth, the horizon actually is the geometric shape of the Earth. We'll say that's when the sky appears to meet the ground, and that, you know, is the point where you get the curvature of the Earth. So they say that as a geometric fixed point. Whereas, you know, my understanding is that the horizon's not a geometry, it's not a thing. It's an apparent thing that we see through our vision. So it appears to us that the sky comes down and the Earth comes up, and they seem to meet each other in the middle. Just like right now, if you look along the road, the trees appear to be smaller, the road rises up into the middle of the field of your view, and the sky appears to descend. You would agree that that's what you're seeing?
Yeah.
So that's based on our vision. We know in reality that things are no smaller in the distance, that the trees are the same size, roughly, people are the same size, lampposts are the same size. So there's a difference of geometry of how we see the world and how the world actually is. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree to that. But that doesn't mean I would agree to the...
No.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go
Other
through each, so we can have agreements upon each thing. So we agree, you know, there's a difference between how we see the world and how the world actually is based on a simple observation. The lampposts are all the same size, they're not getting smaller as the street goes up.
Yeah.
So that's a different geometry. So other than just you think you can see something at the horizon, you've got nothing else for the belief that the Earth's a sphere?
I'd have to think about it more. But
have you ever thought about it?
yeah, I think I have. Because when you're younger, obviously you're like, what is this? Where am I? And
What about the first time they told you that a body of water was actually bent around the outside of a sphere?
Well, it's because of gravity that works,
that it
and
mean-
because it's so large, it doesn't make a difference.
So going back to the practical thing again, that's a claim about a substance, right?
Well,
Now,
it's not about the substance, it's just about, if you look at it at one point, the water is plain at that point. Because the Earth is so large, it doesn't, the curvature it has doesn't really affect the...
But if I was to say to you in my investigation, the substance of water is physicality, it doesn't support shear stress, it doesn't have any elasticity, it always collapses to the lowest potential energy state, which is a horizontal plane. In every instance, any demonstration, you know, from a puddle to a lake to a swimming pool, a bath, all these are demonstrable facts of reality that water will seek its own level.
I don't think water bends at all. But like
it must if it's a sphere.
Yeah, but because it's so large, I don't think that has like the effect on it is so small that it doesn't really.
Can you see the flaw in your reasoning? Because the physical substance is here to demonstrate, and you're using language to say that because it's bigger.
Well, as an engineer, that's what we do. We simplify it down to as much as we can. So because the Earth is so large compared to a body of water, if you compare it to a puddle, that's you can't because it's
But never mind the puddle. I'm talking about the substance in itself. Its
water.
Physical properties. Water.
Yeah.
It cannot support shear stress. It's defined and understood that water will take the shape of its container, and that will always form a horizontal surface. That's just how it behaves. That's we can talk language, I can show pictures, but that's not going to change the facts of how that substance behaves. But the globular Earth will use language, like just as you've tried to say, only because it's big. Well, what does scale change about the physical substance?
It doesn't change it, but it's not. The water isn't flat anyway because it's the sea, so it's up and down.
That's waves, because waves and currents and heat, temperature are constantly ebbing and flowing and making waves and currents. But the standing body is level from any given point upon the surface. That's the physicality and behaviour of water. There's absolutely no way for me to escape that. So, sorry.
Right, I get you. I get your point, but I disagree with you, obviously.
So would you then say that level is defined as a curve, or is level no deviation in elevation from the starting point to any other point?
I'd say it's level.
How do we define what level means?
Yeah, I mean it's getting quite pedantic, but it's like.
Well, it's not, because the globular Earth tries to redefine level as so imagine I draw a circle and I put a dot in the middle. Now the line from the dot to the outer edge, the circumference of the circle, they'll say that is level. That's defined as level because it's the same distance all the way around the circumference of the circle from the central point, right? Which denotes a curve. But in real world terms, what do you understand level to mean?
Level. It's difficult to explain it when you put it in those words, but
level surely for a mechanical engineer, level means flat, straight, no elevation
or
deviation.
Flat enough.
So it means if we start here, but we have to have the same altitude anywhere we go in order for it to be level. You would agree?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's a real world definition. So that's what I'm saying when we talk about water being level. It's no curve, it's level, it's straight. So how can we define water as water level, but really mean water curve? Because that's not right.
Right.
Surely you must see that.
I do, but because it's on such a larger scale, it changes everything.
So we're just back to belief in the image again. So this is what I'm saying, this is what we want to highlight. Demonstrable facts against an image on a TV, where people try and contort demonstrable facts to suit the image. And that's kind of what you're doing right now, would you agree? Because it's just words.
Yeah, but to me the Earth is round.
Yeah. But you don't really know why you believe it.
Well, I know why I believe it because of the proofs that I believe in.
Belief?
It's partly belief, yeah, but it's also because I've been told it by people and things that I trust in.
So it's
consensus. I feel like part of the flat Earth thing is sort of not trust. It's kind of based upon like an inherent
What we call it is
distrust of the
pathetic.
society and all that.
No, what it means for me is that I was sick and tired of myself by using the same thing, like, but because this body said so, these people said so, that wasn't good enough for me, because I wanted to make sure I actually knew. So I became a real scientist. That scientist just means an explorer. So, you know, that means we explore the objective reality that we find ourselves in, and that's in everybody's hands. The minute that I hand my authority over, I become apathetic, I become ignorant, because now I'm not investigating. I'm just taking it on hearsay, and that's dangerous, because that's how cults can form. And what I would suggest is that the globular earth is a cult, and it's widespread, it's in our education systems, and I'm continually trying to challenge. I've got a friend who's an honours degree graduate from here, maths and physics. He's here continually trying to challenge the lecturers here. He's in his 50s now, and he wants to have this discussion, because things are being defined mathematically, and it's a separation from physics, because physics is about demonstration.
So what do you think about the camera footage and that type of proof?
It's not scientific.
Right.
Because science...
Because what that shows is, to me at least, an obvious...
But that's the thing. To me, science is not image-based. Science is quantification of practical references. Now what I'm saying to you is that this image depicts the earth contrary to what the scientific investigations shows.
Right.
Have you heard of Euclid?
No.
Euclid of Alexandria? You've never heard of Euclidean geometry? And you're a mechanical engineer?
Yeah.
They don't teach you that.
Well, I don't know. If you explain it to me, then I probably recognise
So
it, but I don't
Euclidean
know.
geometry is planar geometry. So using triangles, you know,
This is a fancy name.
plumb, level, square.
Yeah.
You understand these terms.
Yeah.
But that's Euclidean geometry. Euclidean geometry is planar geometry, which means it starts from an axiom of a plane, and then we can, you know, calculate, you know, altitudes, we can do, you know, distances, we can use it for loads of things. That doesn't apply to a curved surface, but we use it everywhere.
But what about gravity then? Surely it would be less.
What's gravity? This is a whole other subject matter.
I feel like we could probably just go around in circles.
No, but it's all relevant, because gravity is a mathematical look. We all know. Okay, so what we have there is a physical substance, and we can see that it falls to the earth straight down. Right. Now that's a physical fact that happens. Now gravity is an interpretation of a model of why that happens. So they say that it's being pulled to the earth. You agree?
It's accelerating, yeah.
Yeah, it's being pulled by gravity, because they say it's coming from the earth. The gravitational pull, they call it. Now I'm going to state something categorically here. A mechanism of motion, Newton's laws of motion, the laws of motion will show you that pull does not exist as a function of motion. So like, if you put your finger like this, just to show you a quick demonstration, and you take me towards you, you'll say, you pulled me towards you.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. Now think about, where's the pressure? Where's the pressure on my finger?
On your finger.
There.
Yeah.
So that's one surface pressing another surface.
Yeah.
So it's push really, it's an applied pressure. So in any case that you look at for motion, you cannot create motion unless that applies something pressing on something else. Now in their model, they want you to imagine that there's nothing in between and you can somehow make things move. It's magical rubbish, total nonsense. And then they'll say, but gravity, because it's like a god, can bend oceans and bodies of water and make it behave contrary to how we test and observe in everyday reality. And the reason that's being done is to suit an image on a TV screen.
I think the reason everything's been done is to try and explain the way things are, and I think it does a pretty good job of that.
But do you not think that these people have got huge investments?
I'd say some of them have investments, but...
Well, look at NASA itself, isolated, it gets $52 million per day.
Yeah.
Per day. So you don't think that would be justification to keep pushing the agenda?
Yeah. I mean, it is justification if that was the case, but I just don't think it is.
You don't?
No. But thanks for chatting to me.
It's been a real pleasure, Matt. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Great to meet you, buddy. I hope you just, this is what we're hoping for, that people will question it. And obviously you can see I'm not a crackpot. I think you can
Yeah, it's
agree
good
that.
to like have conversation for sure.
Yeah, rather than just because people are influenced by TV, so the TV will generalise and say people like me are this,
And
that, the other.
online and stuff like that.
Aye,
Yeah.
you've recently had an interaction with somebody who denies that, and you can quite clearly see that I'm reasoned. I have my reasons, and I'm not a crackpot. I'm not religious. I don't have a horse in the race. I just want an honest inquiry into what's actually going on. So this is why we have these conversations,
Yeah.
to alleviate the propaganda of, because it causes a separation. Because if people keep taking the propaganda in, it disallows people like me and you just to have a conversation, because people are like, you're a flat earther, you're crazy, and that's the kind of reactions you get. But you're decent enough, humble enough to actually stand there and have a conversation. So you're a fine example of how this should go forward. So it's a
Thank
real
you.
pleasure. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Take it easy.